All right, so let's look at Mike and Vicky's financial/retirement plan, shall we? This is a good one here. They sent me a bunch of stuff for their paperwork, so to speak, from the questionnaire. All right, so let's go into this. So Mike, right now, his goals, let's start with goals, shall we? His goals are to retire at May of 2024 when he's 60 years old, and Vicky to retire May 2021 when she's 62. The retirement expenses are $3,600. That's what they're saying is what it's going to cost to groceries, gas, tolls, dining out, dry cleaning, you name it. Gifts, car replacement savings, vacation, health insurance, deductible, blah, blah, blah. All right. Their annual retirement costs, well, we're going to say, and this is just going off what he told me. He said it's basically about, it's going to be $1,500 a month or $1,350. If we look at $650 a month for Mike and I'm sorry, $700 a month for Mike and $650 for Vicky. So we're looking at about let's say $15,000 a year, give or take, until they hit Medicare. And then once they're on Medicare, it'll just be basic Part B, Part D, and a supplemental policy. And I'm saying with a supplemental policy plus co-pays out of pocket, it's going to be another $5,000 a year for each of them. For both of them, total $2,500 a year for each of them. All right, so we're not going to say any retirement long-term care costs. So they're going to pay for that out of pocket, and that's pretty much it for the goal. They do want to remodel a home, $50,000 it costs. They're going to remodel their home in Florida, and they're going to buy a home in Georgia. And they didn't really say how much they're going to buy for a home or anything. They just say want to relocate to Georgia from which they're from, and I figure a $300,000 purchase price. Will they put 50% down? I mean, is that right? I'm just using that. And that will carry a mortgage. So we'll crunch that a little bit. Income. Now, Mike is working, making $225,000 a year now. And again, he's going to retire when he's 60. Vicky's working, making $43,000 a year. She'll retire at 62. Mike's Social Security, his PIA is $2,966. Vicky's PIA is $1,000. All right, so obviously that tells us that Vicky should get a spousal benefit for sure. And the fact that Vicky's a little bit older, Mike should maybe take it a little bit early. We'll dive into that a little bit. Vicky has a small pension that will start at her retirement, and they didn't say if it's got a cost of living adjustment, so we're just going to say no. Mike's got a big fat pension at $74,000, and again, I'm not saying a cost of living adjustment, but we are having a 50% survivor benefit. Now, they're saving a boatload of money into their 401ks and 403bs. You can see here, Mike is putting in $26,000 into his, well, $16,000 to his Roth 401k and $11,500 to his pre-tax 401k. Can't remember what the contribution maxes are anymore. $26,000 seems about right if you're over 50. And Vicky's putting $21,600 to her Roth 403b. So good, man. And expenses, then they do some tithing. So they're tithing about $2,200 a month right now. So they're sitting pretty, man. We have Mike live until he's 86, and we got Vicky live until she's 100. So it's very important to Mike for Vicky to survive him for a long time, to be sustainable once he dies. All right, so let's go to net worth. They got about $37,000 in bank account. About $780,000 in various investments. The bulk of it is in Mike's 401k, which is he's got some Lockheed Martin there. He's got the total bond index, and the bulk of it is going to be in the stable value fund, if that makes sense. Stable value fund right there. He's got U.S. equity. We're just saying at the end of the day that's going to be S&P 500. So the stable value fund, there's no ticker for stable value, so we'll say Lockheed Martin, and that could be NUA. It doesn't make any sense, in my opinion, to do NUA. People love that. I just think it's a little bit too cute by half for most people. Mike's got a loan of let's see here. And look, just FYI, I'm just using what you send to me, guys. So if you put it in there, I'm going to put it in to the best I can. So if you give me a ticker number, I'm putting it in. All right, that's all there is to it. In this case, it took me a little bit of time to figure out the actual cost, not the cost basis, but the actual number of shares. That's fine. That's what you paid me to do. I'm not going to kill myself figuring that out, but he got it on there. He got all these various holdings that he had. There is no ticker for a stable value, just FYI. So I don't use that. But if you give me a ticker symbol, I put it in there. And ideally, you give me a ticker symbol in the number of shares, so I don't have to calculate it. Because if you give me 25 different holdings, I'm not going to do that. But if you give me a ticker in the number of shares, I probably will. So their home is worth $390,000. Property tax is $3,742. Annual insurance is $4,300. We're just appreciating at 2%. He didn't say that, but that's just what I want to do because I want to see the property taxes going up as the house value does. They only own $106,000 on the mortgage. They had a 10-year term. They took out 5 years or so ago, and it's gonna be it'll be over in 2024. It's costing a little bit less than that for a minimum monthly payment, but not much less. He just said he wanted to have that mortgage paid off, and I think he said February 2024 or something like that. But anyway, 2024. And then the idea would be that they want to relocate to Georgia. And where do we have that here? Do we have that? I think we have it on goals. Yeah, goals. So let's go. They want to relocate to Georgia in 2024 when that mortgage is paid off as well. He didn't say that. Actually, I must put that 2025 so they can have 1 year with no mortgage, if that makes sense. And we're going to have net worth. Yeah, 20. There you go. That's good. All right. So he's gonna have a $50,000 remodel of their home in Florida, so that way in 2025 they can relocate to Georgia. And I just used a $300,000 purchase price, so I put 50% down. I don't know that to be true or not, but we're just going to say that, and we're going to carry insurance and property tax, and they're going to get a 4% interest rate. Let's do a 2% appreciation here. All right. All right, so far so good. I think we talked about the pension, we talked about the tithing, we talked about expenses. They think they're going to have retirement monthly expenses of $3,600 a month, and again that includes, I can't remember if I said this already, car insurance, groceries, gas tolls, dining out, dry cleaning, you name it. And we talked about the retirement health care costs, Part B, Part D, and then a supplement, no long-term care. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, so let's go to retirement. Let's talk about investments. I don't think I said this already. Stable value fund is going to be U.S. bonds. That's the bulk. He's not intending to keep it like that. He's looking more of a 50-50 mix. Mortgage paid off in February 2024. That's what it was. But either way, they're only getting a 2.8% rate of return with this mix here. So let's go to retirement. Let's see what we're looking at here. There's no way they're running out of money, man. But let's take a gander. Yeah, they're not running out of money. So in this scenario, with those kind of expenditures, not only are not run out of money, but they got 100% probability of success with an average $3.508 million that they're leaving to their kids. I can't remember how many kids he has. 2, I think. 2 or 3 or something like that. And if we do in future dollars, that means on average they leave their kids in liquid assets about 1.339 in terms of a median amount. A median is 50% of the time you have more, 50% of the time you have less, but no time when Miss Vicky died did they ever have less than, or 5% of the time they had at least $895,000, which inherently makes sense because we don't have them invested. I mean, it's literally sitting in cash for the most part. It's a stable value fund right now. So they're sitting pretty fine there. Actually, I wanted to do something else. I wanted to do probability. 1.339 million. Yeah, and I think that said 1.339 million. Yep, right there. All right, cool. So that looks pretty good. So the median on this probability is 1.339 million, and they're never running out of money. So what I just for giggles, let's say we invested a 50-50 like Mike was saying. What would we be looking at then? The proposed plan would jump up quite a bit. Basically double the money that they're leaving to their heirs. And again, this is just their liquid assets, all right? From 1.3 million to 2.5 million essentially. And if we look at the confidence, it's just a small every year increases. 2.3 million is the median, 2.3, 2.4, 2.4, almost 2.5. That looks pretty good to me. So no risk there. And again, that's investing at a 50-50 probability. And my portfolio and those probability numbers are still quite low. In fact, we could go to a 50-50 to show you exactly what the portfolio would give us. Moderate 5%. We're looking at 5% rate of return there. That's pretty favorable, man. I'm a big fan of that for sure. We haven't looked at taxes yet. We will. That looks pretty good to me. Yeah, all right, good. So that's good stuff. Tax, let's see what the tax band looks like. See, the problem with Georgia, they're not going to have that kind of taxes in Georgia. So, I'm inclined to keep them in Florida just to show you that they're not going to pay these kind of taxes. And so let's do this. Let's relocate within Florida. And we want to go to profile. Because in Georgia, if you have $65,000 of income, once you're over the age of 65, you pay no income tax. if you have less than $65,000 per person. So a married couple, Mike and Vicky, Josh and Charlotte, if we have $130,000 of income in Georgia once we're beyond 65, there is no income tax. The software doesn't recognize that. And I don't blame the software. Each state is different. Each state has a different, they change it all the time. You can't blame the software for not recognizing that. So let's just say they're going to, I mean, there's no way you can keep up with it. Let's just say they relocate to Florida. They stay in Florida. Let's take a look. That should change things dramatically from a tax perspective. Yeah. I mean, there's when Mike dies and there's when Vicky jumps the widow's tax trap. But I mean, look at that. It's, again, and with it, it's awful hard for me to sit there and say, man, guys, you guys really need to do some Roth conversions because you're only paying, 11%, 14%. Now, if we go to proposed plan where they're investing, it should jump up because they're making more money. Not that much. So 15% at 72 because they're investing and making more growth on their investments versus current plan. 15% at 72, 14.3 at 72. I mean, just, that lack of investing doesn't really change that whole much, but be that as it may. Oh, all right, come on, Pablo. Hey, buddy. Good boy. All right, let's just take a gander here. So we're going to look at a 1040. I mean, they're paying a lot of tax now. You factor in FICA. And let's look at 1040 for 2029. They haven't hit Social Security benefits, but Mike's got his pension. Vicky's got a small pension, $111,000 of AGI. They got some taxable interest, some qualified dividends, $81,000 after standard deductions. And again, for the 20,000th time, but I'm going to say it, there are lots of new people here. QBI, they don't have QBI in 2029, but QBI will be replaced with the words personal exemptions. So basically they have $30,000 of standard deductions and personal exemptions. So their taxable income is only $81,000, which is still in a 12% tax bracket. So they're paying $96.80 in taxes right there on $111,000 of income. A little bit more than that. So let's go to, I want to show what I'm talking about. So if we go to 2024, you can see QBI line 9, there's nothing because it's all in the standard deduction. All right, so let's go to retirement. Good boy. And let's do the cash flows. Actually, let's do a stress test first. I want to show you guys something on a stress test. All right, so we're going to stress test the probability of a market crash by 60%. So here's the baseline. The baseline is that they are 100%. The market crashes by 100%, by 60%. They're not running out of money. They're not running out of money. Look at that. Taxes go up by 80%. They're not running out of money. Social Security is reduced by 30%. They're not running out of money. The only one really, let's hit refresh here. The only one that I always worry about is inflation, but I am literally not worried about that now. And let me show you why nothing happens here. And the reason that doesn't change anything, if we go to tax and we go to, is it tax? No, it's right here, retirement. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's go to retirement income. 95% of their income is stable. 95%. So they're not at all, the market does nothing. I mean, the market is completely irrelevant to their ability to sustain their retirement because 95% of their income is stable. It's just all there is to it. So there's really, they don't have to worry about a withdrawal rate. I mean, because they're only, look, they're taking out RMD. It's just not an issue. Literally, if you have all your income is stable from guaranteed sources, there just isn't an issue in terms of your ability to stop market crash. It won't affect you. So I would tell Mike's like, man, don't wait to get in the market. Get in there now. Unless, there's no need to, but if you want to leave more to your heirs and make sure Vicky's taken care of, get in the market now because even if the market crashes, it doesn't affect your retirement. So let's go back to, I don't usually use this that much, invested assets, taxes, right there. Yeah, so we want to, all right, so let's go to cash flows. Let's go to cash flows. And we'll see if it makes sense to do Roth conversions. All right, so cash flows. All right, so here's their inflows when they, here's their goal. So what's happening here in 2023, they're paying $50,000, which is inflated at 3%. to fix up the house. All right. 2025, they're going to buy a new home, and they're going to pay half with cash, and they're going to carry a mortgage. Hope that makes sense. That's really their primary goals. So let's go to expenses, and we'll see that they have housing is, there's your mortgage, your property, homeowners insurance, your property tax, whatnot. And then you can see they have 1 year where they have no mortgage, or right here in 2024. And then it picks back up the mortgage in 2025 because they have 50% down and 50% of borrowing. But their house, the mortgage is significantly lower than what it is now because they're not paying it. I have them paying over the course of 30 years. If they want to pay more to it, they can. But I have a 30-year note. You can literally do whatever you want. I don't know why you would tie yourself down in your retirement with a 15 or 10-year note, heaven forbid, when you can just do a 30-year note. And if you want to pay more, by all means, pay more. I wouldn't do that. That doesn't make sense to me at all. I get a little bit lower of interest rate. I don't care. I don't want to tie myself up with that. But anyway, so that's what's going on expenses. So it's not like they're not spending money. They got healthcare. Here's 2025. Healthcare jumps up pretty significantly because of Mike being retired and not on Medicare, and Vicky is on Medicare. So we look at this is Vicky's retirement. She's on Medicare here, and we'll look at Part B is $29.52. Let me just see what that is. So that's Vicky's $66.46 divided by 12. Yeah, it's about $553 a year because we have other, and other was what did I have for other? Hold on just a second. We had for other income. There's the goals, I think. Yeah, right there. It's $2,500. So we have them paying $2,500 a year out of pocket once they're on Medicare, and we're inflating that by 5% a year, by the way. And so that's what that other was. That might be on the high end, but you got a supplemental policy. Ford is probably pretty cheap. $120, $130 a month for a supplemental policy. Georgia is probably the same. But you still have co-pays, eye exams, ear, and all that stuff. So we're still saying it's going to be probably higher than what will probably be the case, but always better to err on the side of caution for sure. So anyway, let's go back to expenses. All right, so we got expenses here, healthcare, and then Mike is on his own. So Mike is paying for his own policy. You can see right there at $750 a month right there, $750 a month, $750 a month, and then he goes on Medicare, and then they're paying the same together. All right, so they're paying, a good 5 figures of healthcare, low 5 figures, but still 5 figures of healthcare. All right, so that's a big expense for them for sure. Housing is another big expense, another low 5 figures, but sure. And then living expenses are just the $3,600 a month, inflated each and every month or a year at 3% inflation. And so their total expenses when they're both retired is about $80,000. That's definitely doable because Mike's pension is $74,000. And if we look at their taxes, well, they're only having to pay right here taxes of we just go this one right here, $9,700. So they have to pay, high 4 figures, and then going into 5 figures here, low. But you can see that never really changes much. That's the proposed plan when they're investing. So 2031, they're going to say, let's just look at what the taxes look like in 2031 if they keep their investments in a conservative amount. 2031 went from $19,000 to 2031 to $18,000. So again, it doesn't make any sense to stay in cash. They're not run out of money. The market won't dictate at all how their performance will be in terms of retirement. All that's going to be, you'll see if you go to analysis. If they don't invest well, they're leaving $1,300, $1.3 million on the table. So just simply by investing in a more moderate portfolio of 50-50 stocks to bonds, they're going to net another $1.3 million potentially. This is none of this stuff is guaranteed, my friend. It's just FYI. So we definitely want to encourage them to do that ASAP. I wouldn't wait. I just move that money over. Look, the market being down 30%. Look, man, you're not going to need this money anytime soon. You might as well just jump in there with both feet for sure. I don't understand why. Look, I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know. They seem like nice people. Never spoke to them, but you're not relying on the stocks to provide you an income stream. So because of that, you might as well take advantage of it to get more to charity. I know they're charitably inclined. Wouldn't you want to leave more of your estate to charity? Well, to do so, you got to get stocks. But the stocks that go to zero. The stocks are not going to zero. Stop. I'm not saying they're saying that. I'm just saying this is some of the negative Nellies out there. Stocks, it's a Ponzi scheme. All right, so let's keep going here. So go back to cash flows. Yeah, they're saving a bunch. So, oh, that's what I'm going to look at accounts. So let's take a look at accounts here. So here's a Roth 401k. And we want to roll that over too, so we don't have RMD. So let's make sure we roll the Roth 401k over. Yeah, we're gonna roll. So when Vicky retires, Mike will have 78,000 as Roth 401k. Vicky has 40,000 her Roth 401k or / 403b. It's just a 403b. Yeah, we want to roll those over at retirement, and then Mike's 401k. Yeah, okay, good. So let's go to profile. We don't want RMDs from Roth or Roth 401ks or Roth 403bs. Required minimum distributions you still have from both those kind of accounts. So we want to make sure we don't have that. So let's go to income. We're going to go to add income, distribution, rollover. Roth. And we're going to say Mike. We're going to do it when he retires. And we're just going to say $100,000. It won't be $100,000. It'll be $100,000 or whatever is in there, if that makes sense. So it's just going to make sure it encompasses the whole thing. We're going to roll to Roth. All right, so let me pause and do one for Vicky too. Here we're doing Vicky's rollover, and again we're just say $100,000. So we're going to say she does that from her 401k / 403b into a Roth, convert to Roth, and we're going to say we do that when she retires. Okay, cool. We got to make sure it's Vicky. Let's make sure that happened. And we're going to go to, yeah, that looks good. Okay, retirement, cash flows. We're going to retirement. Cash flows. We're going to go to accounts, and we're going to go to withdrawals from accounts. There we go. As addition to accounts, we want to go to where's the Roth IRA? So we got see additions to accounts. That's what they're putting in. I don't see where. Hold on just a second. Inbounds. Why did that not kick in? All right, so we got to make sure that income. Vicky roll over to Roth. 401k. Vicky's retirement. Convert to Roth. Standard. Oh, counted. Okay, we got to do Vicky retirement. There we go. Oops. Then we want to go over here and do right there. Okay, cool. Let's see. That should change it. Let's see here. Cash flows. Accounts. Why is it not moving over? Roth. Clients, Roth 401k. Co-clients, Roth 401k. Why is that not going over? Additions to accounts. Oops. All right, let me pause for a second. See why is that not happening? All right, let me pause real quick. I'm an idiot. All you got to make sure it's 401k, Roth 401k. All right, that's should have done that, but here we go. So we're gonna go back to retirement cash flows. Retirement cash flows, and we're gonna say right here cash flows. We're gonna look at accounts, and okay, sweet. So there you go. So Vicky's and is Mike's is gone when he retires. And Vicky's retiring at, yeah, so, okay, there you go. That looks good. So we're going to go to addition to accounts. Come on, buddy. Yep, so there you go. 2021, Vicky's is going to her Roth IRA. And 2024, Mike's is going to his Roth IRA. And the Roth 401k and 403bs will be wiped out then. Good. That looks good. All right. And then we'll see. Ending balance by account should be nothing. Yeah, there you go. All right, sweet. All right, so we've got nothing left in there. That means there's no required distribution. So don't ever touch that. And that money should be invested ASAP. All right, so let's go to analysis again. No, I didn't want to go there. I want to go to cash flows. Cash flows. Good boy, Pablo. And you see all this right here. Once RMD, no, that's not an RMD. Once Mike's on Social Security, they got all this surplus cash. That's just growing and building and building. And then Mike dies, and even Vicky still has lots of surplus cash until her last year, even though her income is going to drop off a cliff. Yeah, right here. So her income in 2050 is going to go from 192 to 178 because she's going to lose Social Security and a pension. All right, she's going to lose 50% of the pension and her Social Security. So she's going to lose, $75,000. But her taxes go up by $2,000. Always kind of cracks me up. Her expenses, I only have her expenses dropping by 15% when one spouse dies, by the way. So her expenses are going to drop a little bit, but her income's going to drop a lot, and yet she still has surplus cash right there. So she's in a good place without question. Now that's under proposed plan. If we go to current plan, and again, I'm just going to go to proposed plan from now on because it really makes no sense to keep all that money in cash. Actually, let's just bag this. Let's just go back to proposed. We're going to assume that the market, that they're investing 50-50 because, again, I don't see any reason not to do that. All right, so when would be the, let's do some Roth conversions and see what that looks like because we'll go to tax. Oh, let's go to tax here. I'm just not sure there's going to be much. There's a FICA stopping. There's a federal, no state because we got them in Florida. 5999, and then it just jumps up to 67. I don't know, man. Let's see. So let's just look at analysis. Let me write this down if I can get my trusty pen. All right, so right now, my trusty notepad, they have a proposed plan of $2.725 million. All right. That's without doing any Roth conversions. And how much is their accounts in taxable? And they'll die with 1.08 in tax deferred accounts and 6.57 in tax free. Tax free is who gets the money at the inheritance. All right, so inheritance 6.57 go to the kids tax free. 1.08 will go to the kids taxable, if that makes sense. Let me go to something again. That's future dollars. Future dollars. Just always remember that's future dollars. All right, so if we want to look at today's dollar, I guess we could look at future dollars here to make it congruent. Yeah, look at that. All right. Good boy. All right, so let's do some Roth conversions. Actually, let's go back to cash flows. So they're going to have, when they retire, they're not going to have any net flows at all because they got all the income they need coming from. So they need 80,000 of expenses, 80,000, but they're going to have more than that coming from their pension. And then we're going to have Social Security kicking in for Vicky there. I want Mike to take Social Security later, so let's make sure he takes Social Security at 70. That's the way to do it because Vicky's going to survive Mike quite a bit, and Mike's Social Security is much higher than Vicky's. So, and that's similar to me and Charlotte. My Social Security is much higher than Charlotte. Charlotte's going to survive me probably from 8 years. So I want to take Social Security at 70 so that way I can leave a higher benefit to Vicky. So Mike takes Social Security at 70, bar flipping none. Yeah, that's all right, so let's go to cash flows. So we know that. So Social Security at 70. Invest now. If they do that, they're going to leave $6.63 million. no, 6.673 million in tax-free and 1.089 million in tax deferred. So just by changing Social Security from 67 for Mike to 70, it's going to increase their total net worth of $100,000 of tax-free net worth to their kids. And I bet it probably won't see much of a difference on taxes, but let's just take a gander here. Actually, what I want, 72, yeah, still 15%. I want to do cash flows. I was going to show you something on cash flows. Let's just make sure that Vicky is stepping up, getting a little bit of a spousal benefit too. Income, Social Security. So she's taking her benefit. Yeah, good, sweet. So she's taking a reduced benefit off her record, but then once Mike kicks in at 70, she will get a addition from a spousal benefit. It is reduced now. It is reduced, but she will inherit this amount right here when Mike dies. So, yeah, man, go ahead and take Social Security at 70, Mike, and Vicky, you should take it at 62. I mean, there's no debate about that. All right, so let's do some Roth conversions here. That may or may not work. I'm not sure. So let me pause this real quick. So for giggles, let's have Mike convert $100,000 a year to a Roth. Just let's see what that looks like from a tax perspective. I bet it's going to help Vicky a lot. That looks pretty good, man. Now, a couple years they're paying over 15, but then that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I'm surprised. I didn't think it'd look quite that good, actually. So let's look at that. Looks pretty good, my friends. Let's see what the tax man. 7.71. Let's look at cash flows here. And I just pulled 100,000 out of the air. It's just a nice round number. Let's go to accounts. They're leaving 3.3 million tax free, and then 5.86 million in Roth. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So let's just see what the cash flow looks like. Oops, didn't need Minecraft to show. As you can see, my kids like Minecraft. All right, so let's see what it looks like from a cash flow perspective. Yeah, I mean, they're going to pay a lot of money on the front end paying tax on that. But neither are on Medicare, so they will avoid any kind of Medicare surtax until right about here. I bet, I don't know, will they? 241? So basically, there's a 2-year look back from Medicare. So right here, Vicky goes on Medicare. They're going to do a 2-year look back. That's not a huge income enough where it's going to be a significant Medicare premium tax. It's just all there's to it. Then when Mike goes up Medicare, so right here when Mike goes on Medicare, the previous years of income are all of $93,000. So there is no Medicare surplus premium charge, IRMA. Now they got a big fat tax bill, but then watch this. And the reason that they have this net flows here is because they got a big fat tax bill. But then once that big fat tax bill stops, their tax payments go. It's always going to be about $20,000, $30,000, simply because they got those pensions and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure it's worth it, guys. I mean, if you look at I don't know. This is one of those things that always, when you have a pension, it's harder to justify doing Roth conversions. That looks pretty good to me. 3.35 million in a taxable account versus 5.86 million tax free versus 6.63 million. Hold on a second. 7.762 million, of which 1 million is taxable, i.e. tax deferred, so someone's going to pay tax on it. 7.762 versus 5.860 plus 3.345. Oof, yeah, that's a big difference. That's $1.5 million that you're leaving tax. That will all be tax free. 9.205 million all tax free. That's just assets too, right? It's not including your home. Where the other one's 7.762 million. Man, I didn't realize it'd be that. Let me just make sure I got that right. Make sure these are both proposed plans. go to cash flows. 7.71. Just look at confidence. All right, there we go. 7.71. It's the median. That's what we want to look at, actually. Median versus median. So let's not do the Roth conversions and see what we look like here. And without the Roth conversions, 7.71 is the number to beat. Median. Yeah, I mean, there you go. Doing the Roth conversion, 7.71 versus 7.28 on the median. If you do linear average rates of return, so that's $500,000 difference that you're leaving if you do the Roth conversions, guys. If you don't do the Roth conversions, it's if you do the Roth conversions with a linear rate of return, you don't want to look at linear, but just to share with you, it's the difference between 9.2 million versus I forgot what it was, but 7.262 or something like that. I'm sorry, 7.762. So, you know, linear returns of 1.5 million. Random sequence of events in terms of Monte Carlo, the median is 500,000. There's just no getting around that. Roth does make sense. There you go. That answers that to me critically. So I would be doing Roth conversions. I'd be doing as much as I possibly can to get it out of the system before you go on Medicare, Mike. But, you know, at the end of the day, you're the one paying the tax, not me, man. And I'll be investing. So I'll give you these three things. I mean, look at these taxes. And the front end of your retirement, you're going to be paying $57,000, $57,000, $47,000, $48,000. That's without doing Roth conversions. Hold on a second. Do Roth conversions. $57,000, $50,000, $40,000, $48,000, $42,000 while you're doing those Roth conversions. He said, I mean, you're going to be paying, well, actually, I said before the Roth conversions. Wait, when is the Roth conversions? 1 sec. I thought we did our retirement. Let's go. Yeah, right here. Okay, that's 2024. There you go, because you're still working. I forgot about that. Okay, cool. So 2024. You'll go from, well, you're already kind of used to paying that kind of tax. 25,000, 33, 33, 33, 32, 32, 32, 46. Then it'll drop off like a brick. Comes 72. There's nothing. There's no RMDs. $21,000, $170,000 of income. That's not so bad if you ask me. And then wait until when old Vicky, when you die, Vicky will run from 210 of income to 137, but her taxes are going to go down because there's no more RMDs. Not much, but a little bit. I think at the end, I'll let you decide that. You don't have to do it right away, but if I were you, once you retire, Mike, I'd be doing 100,000 a year Roth IRA conversions. I would have Vicky take Social Security at 62. You take it at 70. I would invest in a moderate portfolio right out of the gate, like a Wellington fund or something along those lines. At least 50-50. I'd probably go to 66-23, like a Wellington fund. I'll let you determine that. But, man, those are three things you should be doing. Roth conversions, the minute you hit retirement. Vicky takes Social Security at 62. And get some of that money to work. I mean, don't just sit there, because if it sits on the side idle, I know you're charitably inclined. So start, growing the wealth to leave to other people that come up, be it your kids or the church or whatever charity you're giving to. They need the money too, man. So I would be doing that. Hope this helps. A lot of good stuff here. You guys are in wonderful shape. Thanks for sending this in. We'll see you.